Welcome, baseball fans, to the second division series of the National League, where we have the wild card winning Washington Nationals at the LA Dodgers. For those of you who have tuned in earlier to the St. Louis Atlanta game, made some slight improvements over the board this time. I noticed that St. Louis and Washington both have team colors of red. So with St. Louis, I tried to use red marker. And noticed that no one could see it. So guess what? Washington gets to be black this time. And just for a little bit of color contrast, the title is in a nice little purple there because I like purple. Another little improvement over the previous video is I accidentally put the road team on the right and fixed that this time around, having LA on the right and the visiting team, the Washington Nationals, on the left. So, having said that, let's go ahead and get into our game today, okay? We have an interesting situation because we have the number one seed LA Dodgers, the juggernauts of the West, hosting the Washington Nationals, who had to use a late 8th inning major league comeback just to take out the Milwaukee Brewers and get into this. And they had to use 2 starting pitchers just to get here. So, you knew based upon that it was a given. When you have Scherzer, Corbin, and Strasburg as your essential rotation for the division series, that when you're using the first 2 just to get here, the third one is by default gonna be your starter in game 1. Having said that, despite the fact that Strasburg went several innings and like 38 pitches, something like that, in the wild card game, he will be taking the ball for game 2 against Clayton Kershaw in against LA tomorrow. So that'll be interesting, and I'll get into that shortly. But first, let's cover this game. In this game, you got Patrick Corbin coming in. He's the acquisition, 6-year deal. They beat out the Yankees to get Corbin's services. From Arizona, he went 107 pitches across 6 innings, had 1 earned run, but he gave up 2 runs during his 6 innings of work. The most notable thing about Corbin in this game is the first inning. He gives up a walk, then he strikes out 2, then he gives up 3 consecutive walks to give LA their first run. I'm thinking, calm down. I know this is your very first postseason appearance ever. I get it. Your nerves are shaking. It's the big stage. It's playoff atmosphere. Fans are screaming everywhere. I get it. But you've got to calm down and settle in to this game. Seriously. You can't get away with this against anybody, let alone the Dodgers. And they definitely made you pay for it. Now, granted, you don't have a whole lot more in terms of offense because the Nationals weren't able to actually produce anything. Walker was shut down pitcher. Just lights out. Phenomenal job, Walker. Now, given the fact that they chose Walker for this over, they have a stacked rotation. They have Buehler, Kershaw, Media, and Ryu. Ryu being Cy Young award worthy in this year, but they went with Walker. I said, okay, Dave Roberts knows what he's doing. He's also got a great year, 14-4, 3.26 ERA, 215 strikeouts. So really, if you look at the rotation of Dodgers, there's no bad choices throughout their depth. They're just one of the deepest teams in the league. And their high ranking, they were in first most of the year for power rankings up until like the very end. I think they got it back in the very last power rankings. They went like 6-0 for the final week. Having said that, there really aren't any bad choices between a deep lineup and a very strong bullpen, a very strong rotation. Yeah, getting nitpicky if you're looking for weaknesses here with LA. With that, Washington was just not able to do anything against their pitchers. Hence, the question mark, where is your offense, Washington? You broke through against Milwaukee. Granted, Milwaukee is no LA. With all due respect to Brewers fans, face it, the LA Dodgers are a much stronger team, hence the number 1 seed, okay? Having said that, going into pitching performances here, overall, going 6 innings and 2 runs against any other team is very respectable. It's still technically a quality start for Corbin, so good job there, but it just wasn't enough against the Dodgers. Then, of course, he gets relieved. Skipping down to the person that Fernando past the guy that relieved Corbin, going right into Fernando Rodney, goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 0 earned runs, but due to fielding errors, he ends up giving up 2 runs, allowing the Dodgers to go from a 2-0 lead to a 4-0 lead. And then Hunter Strickland comes in the 8th, goes 1 inning, gives up 2 earned runs, and their bullpen just sinks them. I mean, you're going down into the late innings, 7th inning, down 2-0 against LA is already a tall order. But then when your bullpen gives up 4 runs, forget about it. A 6-0 deficit is just pure domination of the Dodgers over the Nationals in Game 1. Switching sides to the LA Dodgers here, we got, after they give me, this shows great plate patience by their lineup. And you know they're deep, you know they got patience, then you know they're looking for the right hit. And when you got 4 batters willing to just take pitches and force you to throw strikes, and they know you can't do it, they're willing to take a free run on 4 walks. They've got no problem with that. They'll do that all day long. Trust me, believe me, they'll take it. Going down to the 5th inning, Muncy reaches on a fielding error with 2 men on, which allows Bellinger to score. Then Taylor tries to get greedy and goes to expand it to a 3-0, gets tagged out of home. Coming down to the 7th inning, Muncy strikes again with a line drive to the right field, scoring 2. And thanks to Muncy, he now padded a 1-0 gimme in the first to a ballooned 4-run lead. If this was a different team they were facing, it might be a different story. But that's practically lights out. And fundamentally, with Buehler and the bullpen pitching absolutely dominant, lights out the performances, that 1-0 would have been enough, but that would have been a little bit tense. Breaking up into 4-0 was practically lock, seal, and done. Then, of course, in the 8th, you get a nice little gift off the Hunter Strickland here, where Gavin Lux gets his first career postseason home run to expand it to 5-0, followed by Jock Peterson getting in on the fun, hitting his first home run of this postseason to balloon to 6-0. We knew going into this game that they had a very deep, difficult lineup. We knew the rotation and their bullpen were solid. They're going to need more answers than this. Now, here's the nice little thing about this. Game 2, we're looking at Strasburg versus Kershaw. Now, you might think, it's Kershaw. Of course you're going to dominate. Not so fast. Kershaw has been absolutely phenomenal, Cy Young worthy in regular season play, consistently and regularly throughout his tenure with the Dodgers. However, look at his postseason record. It has been like abysmal. I would compare him to David Price, but David Price fixed that when he won last year in the postseason. But Kershaw is a guy who struggles to win games in the postseason, and as a result, I think that with Strasburg showing his mettle, he's been in the postseason prior to this year. He has playoff experience. He knows what the postseason is like, and he picked up Scherzer in the wildcard game and really locked down that game. Gave the Washington Nationals a chance to come back against the Milwaukee Brewers, and he's starting Game 2. Yes, he's got 38 pitches under his belt, but managers checked with him. He said he's good to go. He's probably going to be on a short leash, but he's going to give you the best chance to hold down the Dodgers' very lethal offense, to give them a chance to put up something and squeak out a win. I don't see this being a home run derby by any measure, especially with the pitching that LA can put up. If the Washington Nationals can't hold their lineup in check, it's game over. Now I did predict that LA was going to win this 3-1, and that one game I predicted was going to be the Kershaw start, in which when you got Strasburg going back against Kershaw, I think that's going to be their best chance to win the game. And if they don't win that game, it could very likely end up. Then Scherzer's got to step up and get a win in there. You know, we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I think that the game 2 tomorrow night, when Strasburg goes up against Kershaw, is going to be an excellent chance for the Washington Nationals to try and turn a table and even up the series and send it back to Washington 1-1. And they're going to kind of need to. Even if they are playing at home against the Dodgers, they're still going to, the home field advantage is not going to help you so much against LA. They can play you anywhere. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to seeing the game, and I'm going to hedge my bets and say this is going to be a Strasburg game in game 2 to even up the series 1-1. Ultimately, I think the LA Dodgers are going to take this in 3-1 lead and move on to the conference championship. So let me all know what you think about what I think. Please leave all your comments and opinions in the comment section below. If you just happen to come across this video on YouTube, please hit like and subscribe. It greatly helps the channel. Thank you all for watching, and have a great night.